What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XDC network today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Let's get into it. It is the 27th of March. Very beginning of March right now. We're at about, very beginning of the 27th. It's actually the end of March. We are at about 7.167 cents right now. Looking like you've broken out of this downtrend, huh? On the daily time frame. If you're taking all these highs and connecting them, look at that. You broke out, you back tested for support, and you continue to move. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, man. Daily RSI, you are finding resistance here at the same area you found resistance before. You found resistance before, just a little bit higher as well. Support here, support there, support there. Oversold this time, oversold this time, oversold this time. Could you go oversold? I think it's possible. You do have a higher high relative to this right here in the RSI with a lower high in the price. That is hidden bearish divergence after all. 4 hour actually looks kind of bullish if I'm being honest, but it could change really quickly if you do go. If you take out this low, if you take out, and I think that you will. I think the average crypto isn't at its lows yet, but XDC might be. We'll kind of gauge that in a second. If you take out that low at about 6.96 cents, that should be easy to remember. On a 4 hour closing basis, not on a wicking basis, but a 4 hour closing basis, then yeah, I think you're going lower. And just on this premise alone, yeah, I do think you're going lower. I think you're going to see a 20 to 30% drop. So let's just see low to high. Maybe even 40. You never know. Some of these cryptos will probably drop 40. I like that. I like that right there. Yeah, 20% drop puts you right at the golden ratio. 5.73 cents. I think that's fair. I think that's probably a fair price. If you were to go lower, let's entertain that thought, okay? First off, let's entertain why it won't go at, why you wouldn't stop anywhere else by at least 5.7 cents, this golden ratio here. The 1414, that's about a 17% drop. I'm expecting Bitcoin personally, and we're not going to do the analysis in this video, so you just got to trust me on this. Watch my Bitcoin analysis videos if you want that. I think Bitcoin personally is going to drop about 18 to 19% from its current price, right? Like 70, 72K just below there. That's about an 18, 19% drop, right? So if Bitcoin drops 18 to 19%, this thing's not going to drop less than it, right? Maybe it keeps up. Maybe it does drop 20%, but that's a good minimum to have, okay? The next area would be the 1886 to the 200. This is a pretty decent area as well. 5.47 to 5.36, something like that. Even 5.1 cents could be the case. But if you go to 5.1 cents, the 2272, it's very common. It doesn't mean you have to, but it's very common to wick a little bit below it. So whenever I say you have a 20 to 30% drop, this actually didn't help at all. It just validated like you could potentially go 20, you could potentially go 30, or anywhere and everywhere in between. At the absolute lowest that I could see this thing going would be 4.8 cents. I'm going to put lines at all these areas, and we're going to look back and see if there's any kind of congruence in the charts, okay? Just below the 2272, right? That's what we want, something like that. I'll put a line right here at the 1886, and then we'll just remember that the 200 is right there below it as well. And then the 1618. Let's do that. Yeah, all these areas here. Okay, we don't have to delete the fibs. We'll just zoom out. Look at the weekly time frame. Maybe the daily time frame. And looking back here, points of support and resistance. Yes, somewhat of an area of resistance there. I like that top line. It looks pretty good. Nothing really though, huh? Let's see here. My computer's being all laggy. I'm sure you guys can see that too. Nothing really too. That top line looks the best to me. If not, that 1886 200 area does have a lot of turbulence and moments of support and resistance as well. So I would think, not that this is an exact science, but you have a chance of finding support at 5.73 cents. If not, is that it? Oh no. Hold on now. Was the top line's the line that you're at now? Oh wow. Okay. So the area that I did like was this area here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So 5.73 to 5.5 cents. I like that area. Yeah. You could go maybe as low as 5.36 cents, and the lowest I'd give you is 4.8 cents, but I don't think you go that low. After that, you'll probably start working your way up, right? No, this isn't a head and shoulders pattern. I don't know what it would be. Maybe you're in some kind of falling wedge, right? Something like this, something like this. Maybe you're in some kind of overall falling wedge. You come down. When you break out, you're going to see a nice immediate move that takes you all the way up to the high, and then you will continue beyond there. It's kind of inappropriate to base a fib and get extensions off of this high because we don't have the low yet, so let's try and come up with a different idea. From a high here to a low there. I'm going to have to restart my computer, man, because it is being bad. But we'll finish this video up first. Hold on. I got to get all this. Why? TradingView. Come on now. Maybe we can blame my computer, not TradingView for that one. Whenever you do go higher, man, that's a nice area to find support too. Whenever you do go higher, we're at 7.165 cents now. I would say 23 cents, 61 cents, something in that area would be the kind of primary zone to expect. You're at 7 cents now. Let's see. And the reason why I think that, just to get it clear, whenever you extend like this, whenever you hit your extension zone and you find support down here, wherever it might be, I like the golden ratios right there too. It's perfect. Whenever you find support in this area and then you continue to run, oftentimes you stop at a minimum at your 1618. That's the minimum area. So that's like a 200% growth. If not, you'll probably continue higher to the 1886, 200 area, something like that, right? You would expect to see about a 400% growth to maybe a 450% growth from this current price. I think that's the most likely area you stop at. But if you do continue all the way up to your 2272, which I think is very possible for XCN, you could run all the way up to 66.5 cents. And that's about a 9x to a 10x potential. Certainly around an 8.5x to a 10x potential there. And that's just from the current price, let alone if you drop down to the areas that I'm talking about, right? If you drop down to kind of the baseline that I'm thinking that, like, or not the baseline, but the best case scenario, that would be about a 4x instead of a 3x. That'd be about a 6x, 7x almost, and then something that's definitely over a 10x as the maximum potential. Most likely outcome, if I had to guess, would be something around 34 to 40 cents. This is not your cycle high that we're going over. This is just the end of the next move, which I think will happen by the end of May, if not sometime in June. When it comes to the end of the cycle, XDC has a lot higher prospects in mind, right? If we look at it and search up its market cap here, XDC, $1.1 billion, man. And this thing's got a lot going for it. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you're looking at investing in this thing, do your research, figure out what it is, right? Do your own fundamental analysis and stuff like that. If you can't do fundamental analysis, you need to learn. Okay, you need to learn. You need to, right? I'm not going to hold your hand through this. You need to come up with what's best for you, because if you just go off of someone on YouTube's opinion, you're going to think. You're not going to think. You're not going to think. Where if you actually think for yourself, you're forced to, and you actually have to do research, you then will have conviction in your plays. You won't flop in the wind whenever something shifts in the price. You'll have very, very strong beliefs, and conviction is the word I'm looking for, that will help persevere through the hard times. And the only people that see the upside, not the only people, but the majority of people that see the upside, they have to buy and hold through the downside sometimes. $1.1 billion now. I think XDC is a $100 billion market cap capable coin. Does that mean that it gets there? No. But I think it's possible. So from this current price, yes, it is a 100xable coin. Does that mean that it will? No, it doesn't. You could stop. I would think that at the least you would grow to prices that are above $1, $1.50, 25x from here, maybe $2.10, 37x from here. That's a good kind of minimum expectation that I would have by the end of the cycle. 443, yeah, 568. I could see both of those too. Yeah, these fibs are kind of obscure, but they are based. I think this is actually based off of a pretty good fib, a pretty relative fib that will help you carry on throughout the rest of the cycle. But I think once we see how far up this next move goes, it'll help us determine. If you only stop at 23 cents, it might not be appropriate at all to guess that you'd see 100x in this thing. That you see prices around $7, maybe around $1.50, $2.10, right? Something there. But if you stop at 34 cents or higher, especially if you stop at 60 cents, yeah, man, this thing could be worth not just 100x from here, not just above $7, but maybe even like $10. I think $10 would probably be the maximum that I could guess for this thing by the end of the cycle. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I could see it happening. Nice psychological level of resistance there. And if this thing does get implemented in the way that it seems to be going, if it gets utilized, if it remains popular, relevant, and just gains popularity and hype, it can definitely pump to those kind of levels. The only coins that you see pumped to those kind of levels have existed for multiple cycles, and this thing has been around, man. It's definitely been around, and I think that it has a lot of potential. Just because I think that doesn't mean that it has to go there. Again, if I had to bet money, and I don't. But if I had to, I would think that you would at least go to $1.50 to 2.10, somewhere in there. Anything higher than that, it's possible, maybe even likely, depending on what you value the fundamentals at. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we broke above $4. I would be a little bit surprised, at least as of now, if we broke above like 570. I'd be a little bit surprised there. But after this next move, that might change. So time will tell. I hope it's all very clear and very well received. I've got nothing else to say for you guys. So hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. We're probably going to go down first, but getting set up for the bigger move that's going to come overall. And the 100x that I'm talking about too, that's just from the current price. If we drop another 20 to 30%, likely you do see more than 100x, honestly. But I say likely. Nothing's guaranteed. But all those targets, that was from the current price. So let alone if we go lower, those are going to be better targets. Anyways, that's all I got, guys. Take it easy. Bye-bye.